say if I'm going the right way or where I'm supposed to be. I guess I'll fuck it up again. Kinda strange that I'm running in circles when no one is holding my peace. Yeah, I just make the same mistakes, and I don't wanna talk.
Neon Noir Chrome and Shadows. Consciousness returns slowly, my optics struggling to reboot. Harsh white light pierces through intermittent static. I try to lift my head, but restraints hold me fast to the cold metal slab. The stench of antiseptic burns my nostrils as the blurry shapes come into focus. A Ripper Doc clinic. Memories of the brutal fight come rushing back. Pike's wild eyes and crazed grin as he sliced into me.
Send a machine to do a man's job.
The shotgun shaking in my grip as I blasted half his face away. Brother, in a shower of sparks and flesh, killing my own brother. I try to rise, but the restraints won't budge. An IV line runs from my mangled synthetic arm, dripping replacement fluids into my depleted veins. Through the observation glass, I see the Ripper Doc tidying his instruments. Laser scalpels, bone saws, neural probes, wisps of smoke still rising from recent use. My chassis feels like it went 10 rounds with a trash compactor. Diagnostics confirm major structural repairs across the board. Newly welded steel plating covers the gashes where Pike's thugs tried to shred me. Core processors intact but operating at reduced capacity during healing.
Repairs are complete, Detective. Try not to scrap yourself so soon next time.
The restraints retract and I slowly sit upright, joints groaning in protest. My coat hangs nearby, flecks of dried blood. Some mine, some Pike's, still stuck to the frayed Kevlar.
There you are, back among the living. Rest up tonight. Those halcyon neural entaps I prescribed will help the aches while your chassis finishes mending.
Feels like I went 10 rounds with a trash compactor. What's the damage?
Contusions across 80% of your synthetic epidermal layer. Ruptured titanium femur strut. Shoulder assembly nearly shredded. Cranial plates dented. You're lucky your core systems are shielded. I patched you up best I could. We took the liberty of updating you to Halcyon OS 7.7. Should be good in no time.
Yeah, lucky me. How long was I offline?
Just overnight. Had to order some replacement parts compatible with your unique augmentations. That will be 8,000 credits, by the way. Thank you for choosing Halcyon Medical.
I scowl and toss him a cred chip. He did good work, but his bedside manner needs an upgrade. I snatch the coat and stagger out the clinic doors, body screaming for relief. But it's my mind that feels fractured. Pike was scum, but he didn't deserve to go out cornered like a sewer rat. Or did he? That little data drive I ripped from his corpse, it might expose who or what Pike really was beneath the monster's mask. As I spot Wolford leaning on his cruiser, impatience coded into his stance. Our partnership is still green, but after the beatdown from Pike, seems I can trust him. For now, at least.
About time. I've been waiting all night.
Wolford, I'm back up, good as new. Let's crack this drive, see what Pike left behind. Wolford sizes me up, perhaps contemplating if I'm fit for duty, but he gives me a nod all the same.
You sure about this, Lumpkin? That fight took a lot out of you. This can wait if you need to recover.
I appreciate the concern, but trust me, I need to know what's on this damn drive. Pike was a bastard, but he was still family. I have to learn the truth. He keeps glancing my way, as if I might split open at the seams any minute.
How you holding up, Lumpkin? That doc must have pumped you full of repair nanos, but doesn't hurt to ask.
I'll live. Takes more than a back alley hack job and some low-rent shotgun pellets to scrap me. Although losing Pike himself, that just might finish me off for good. We descend crumbling concrete steps into the warren of Wolford's safe house, buried deep in the hollowed-out foundations. Rust and mold choke the stale air. At the terminal bank, Wolford inserts Pike's drive. Code scrolls past on the screen. My optics zoom and enhance, combing each block of data.
Decryption's running, but could take hours, even days. Maybe you should grab some downtime, let your systems fully reboot.
Can't stop yet. I need to know what's on that drive. Who was controlling Pike? He was a twisted bastard, but blood's still blood. I pop a few of the NeuroLen tabs prescribed by the Ripper Doc, craving relief from the aches of my repairs. My tolerance means I need twice the recommended dose. Wolford eyes me as I dry swallow a handful.
I know you're hurting, Lumpkin, but go easy on those tabs, okay? We need you sharp. I'll monitor the decryption. Rest up while it runs.
I wave him off, optics never leaving the data stream. The truth has to be buried somewhere in that cryptic scroll. Or maybe the drive only holds ashes. The remains of the brother I thought I knew, now lost forever.
Rise and shine, sleeping beauty. Decryption finished running on some of the files. Take a look at what I found.
I blink away the static clouding my optics and lean towards the console. Among the blocks of raw code, a decrypted folder sticks out labeled simply, Brother. Tinged with apprehension. With unsteady fingers, I open the folder. Inside are batches of image files that begin displaying on screen. Photos from our youth, before Pike's descent into anger and chrome. I'll be damned. Pictures of us as kids on the cargo freighter with Dad. Back when Pike still had dreams bigger than feeding his rage. Never knew he held onto these. More photos. Moments from our days at the academy. We were never apart for long despite our differences. And some candid snaps with the squad. Back when Pike could still laugh and smile, before the shrapnel stole half his flesh. It's a side of my brother I thought long gone. Almost makes me forget the monster he turned into. What else might be buried in those encrypted files? I dig deeper into the data drive, searching for clues on who twisted Pike into a hollowed-out killer. Most of the data remains scrambled, but patterns emerge, shipments, clandestine meetings, organ inventory lists, suggesting covert body bank transactions routed through shell companies. I stumble across an encrypted video file labeled Initiation. The timestamp is from years back, shortly before Pike disappeared off the grid and resurfaced as a ruthless augmented enforcer. Whatever's on this clip, it could expose why Pike fell so far. I pipe the video to the main display. The image flickers to life. A darkened room, figures silhouetted in hazy green night vision. I recognize Pike strapped to some kind of operating chair, a look of fear and defiance on his face.
We can't have rogue wolves sniffing at our door, now can we? Maybe some behavior adjustment is in order? We are offering you a simple arrangement here. Take it or leave it, but know that walking away has its consequences.
The threat hangs ominously as the video ends. They had Pike cornered, forced his hand somehow. Wolford places a hand on my shoulder.
This goes deeper than we realized, but now we've got a trail to follow. Those shell companies on the data logs, the clandestine shipments, could expose who was pulling Pike's strings.
You're right. Pike was no angel, but he didn't deserve this. I should have tried to pull him back from the edge when I had the chance.
We'll get to the bottom of this, I promise. Your brother was just a cog in a much bigger machine. It's the ruthless bastards at the top who are the real threat, and we're gonna take them down, whatever it takes. What's our next move?
I stare numbly at the no blank screen, the implications sinking in. They had coerced Pike into their twisted machinations, and I had executed him like a rabid animal. never stopping to uncover the full truth. Grief wells up to crush what little breath is left in my augmented lungs. I fumble for the bottle of tabs prescribed by the Ripperdoc, popping triple the recommended dose. Anything to numb this relentless ache of regret. My own brother, forced into that Shadow Syndicate's grasp. I keep seeing the fear and anger on his face in that video, like a wounded animal backed into a corner. If only I had tried to reach him, instead of writing Pike off as a lost cause. Maybe things could have been different. Maybe I could have saved him. But it's too late now. Pike's blood stains my hands, and no amount of regret can wash it clean. Anger and bitterness over losing him made me blind, stopped me from searching for the real truth until it was too late. They turned my brother into a monster. Now, the monster is me.
Come on, Lumpkin. Stay with me here. We've got solid leads now. Shell companies, shipment records. A trail we can follow to take down the bastards behind this.
Just leave me alone, Wolford. I just need some time. I push past him, unable to bear the weight of my guilt and grief any longer. I take a couple more tabs to ease the horror. Wolford calls after me, but I ignore him, slamming my fist into the concrete wall as I ascend the safe house steps. Outside, the perpetual drizzle hisses down, matching the static churning relentlessly in my mind. How could I have been so blind, so quick to execute my own brother without searching for the truth? I light a Noir Soothe, savoring the bitter smoke as I shuffle aimlessly down the deserted sidewalk. The cravings scream louder with each step. Need something stronger to silence them tonight. Wolford will try tracking me down, dragging me back to the hunt. But it's one demon I can't face right now. Not with my brother's blood still fresh on my hands. I just need one night to drown out this pain, to feel anything other than crushing regret. My feet carry me faster now, towards oblivion's seductive glow. Where I'm going, no one can reach me, not until I've washed the blood from my hands and buried this grief deep down in the darkness where it belongs. The bartender eyes me warily as I slump onto a bar stool and tap the counter.
You look like hell, Lumpkin. Usual poison?
Something stronger. Whatever gets the job done fastest. The bartender pours a murky, glowing liquid into a grimy glass. My enhanced senses detect a dangerous cocktail, dissociative hallucinogens mixed with synthetic endorphins. A recipe for oblivion. I gulp it greedily, the chemicals scalding my throat. I slam the glass down, signaling for another.
Rough day, eh, pal?
You don't know the half of it. I down the second drink, my optics swimming. The bar's patrons blur into merely shapes and colors.
Look at this freak drowning himself in that slop. Pathetic metalhead.
Say that again. Say that one more damn time. I dare you. The bartender intervenes before I do something reckless. Bottles smash against the wall as a brawl erupts nearby. Gruff voices shout, but it's merely background static compared to my singular focus. Get so chemically numb that nothing can claw through the darkness. I'm not sure how long I'm lost in that choking haze before Wolford appears, concern carved into his face.
Damn it, Lumpkin. Look at yourself. I've been searching all over. Come on, let's get you back to the safe house.
He hoists me up, supporting my battered form towards the exit. I'm sprawled on the couch, surrounded by the wreckage of a long night's binge. Empty bottles of synth whiskey, vials of Chrome Dream, packs of Neurasoothe, and my bottle of Halcyon Neuralin, almost empty. My diagnostics are still impaired, optics struggling to focus, but I force myself upright with a groan. No rest for the wicked.
Morning sunshine. Or whatever time it is. Here.
He hands me a mug of steaming black synth calf. I manage a few sips to jumpstart my sluggish processes. What's the damage?
You nearly drank yourself into permanent shutdown last night. You were a mess.
Flashes of the bender cut through the fog, lashing out at nameless faces, gulping toxic cocktails, anything to erase the pain. Yeah, well, thanks for the assist. What did you find on Pike's drive?
A heavily encrypted video file you need to see. Looks like Pike communicating with his handler.
He cues up the clip. Through the distortion, I recognize Pike's face, hardened but fearful. The shadowy figure speaks.
The behavioral modification chip we implanted ensures your compliance. One thought out of line, and we can wipe you away completely.
Pike shifts in his restraints, a mix of defiance and fear in his eyes.
You've turned me into a damn puppet. When this is over,
You'll do as ordered. Unless you want that police officer of a brother hearing about your past indiscretions. Not that you really have a choice.
You son of a...
The video ends abruptly. I grip the console, mind reeling. My God. They chipped him, messed with his head, controlled him like a machine.
Pike was just their pawn. Blackmailed into being chipped and doing the dirty work while they pulled the strings from the shadows.
Rage wells up, overriding the remnants of my hangover. My brother was a lot of things. But he didn't deserve to become their hacked attack dog. When I find the ones responsible for doing this to him, for turning us against each other, they're going to wish they never crossed me and Pike. I won't stop until I take their whole twisted operation down.
I found something else in Pike's files. Multiple payments to an outfit called Chimera Clinic. It's linked to his handler and the augmentation harvesting somehow. Looks like some kind of black market body modification operation.
That could be the key. We need to dig up everything we can on this Chimera Clinic. Follow the money trail. If they're tied to what happened to Pike, I'll make sure whoever runs that hellhole pays in spades for their sick experiments. That twisted video sealed it. Pike was just a pawn. I set up a meet with Mallory at an underground tattoo and body mod shop called Steel Ink. Wolford watches the door as we wait in a shadowy back corner, well away from prying eyes. The curtain parts and Mallory enters, her arms covered in new bandages protecting fresh ink. She opts to stand, muscles coiled tight, ready to bolt at the first sign we've been compromised. Her mirrored optics reflect warped shapes in the dim lighting. Chimera Clinic. Talk.
You're chasing the lowest pit of hell with this. Word is, they specialize in extreme biomods, weaponized limbs, neural control chips, wicked edge stuff.
Can you confirm their location? We need actionable intel we can move on.
Even I can't pen their den, but rumors place it somewhere hidden in the old asylum complex on West and 8th. Wide radius to cover. Listen, you do not want to screw with the soulless fox. Walk away while you still can.
Not a chance. I'm taking Chimera down, whatever it takes. If you see those motherfuckers, you can tell them I'll be seeing them soon.
Good luck.
Mallory shakes her head, unsurprised by my stubbornness. She slips back through the curtain without another word, her warning left lingering like the pain of fresh ink under bandages.
You really think Chimera's hidden somewhere in that maze of an asylum? Place is gigantic. Be searching for days.
Mallory's intel is always solid. They're lurking in there somewhere beneath all that decay. I can feel it. The complex covers over a dozen city blocks. Too much ground to cover searching for Chimera's lab blind. We need to narrow the search. I still have an old mil-spec bioscanner stashed away that I, let's say, liberated from evidence lockup. It's designed to detect illegal biomods in enemy combatants, but should light up this place like a Christmas tree. Just in case something goes sideways, I spend the day preparing my weapons and gear for the recon ahead. Checking scopes, loading mags, sharpening blades, anything to keep my mind focused. Wolford tries urging me to rest, but my circuits are already buzzing with restless energy. As the sun sinks low, we park the cruiser a cautious distance from the gloomy asylum compound. I switch on the bioscanner and methodically sweep it over the rotting structures, watching for electromagnetic clues that might pinpoint our target. Wolford scans the darkened windows with binoculars, on high alert for any sign of guards or surveillance. The shadows lengthen as the scanner's display lights up the interior of the cruiser with an eerie green glow. I slowly pan the bioscanner's beam over the decaying facade of the old tuberculosis ward. The readout spikes with a flash of red as it passes over the crumbling structure.
This thing military grade? How did you just swipe it from evidence?
I have my ways.
Well, I'll be damned. That building's lighting up like a Christmas tree. Readings are going crazy. Must be something big producing those signals. This is definitely the spot.
We sit observing the looming walls blanketed in shadow. Somewhere within, Chimera's butchers ply their gruesome trade. The bioscan locked their nest down for us. No more hiding for these freaks.
So what now? Storm the gates at first light?
Not yet. This place is sure to be armed to the teeth. We're going to need some serious gear if we plan on getting out alive.
I don't like where this is headed.
Relax. You know my contact. Belinda runs an off-the-books shop downtown. Discreet and well-stocked.
Discreet? Last time we stopped by, she had a whole crate of black market military tech just sitting out. Don't tell me you're thinking of raiding that stash for this job.
Pickings might be slim with the wholesalers, but Belinda keeps specialty inventory for clients with specific needs. If we want firepower to match what Chimera's packing, she's our ticket.
Those are some real nasty toys she's moving. We'd be skating the edge just possessing them.
You have a better idea for how we breach this viper's nest? Because if not, the armory's our best bet. Wolford reluctantly nods. She'll hook us up with the tools we need to turn the tables on Chimera. They won't know what hit them. Dusk settles over the city as Wolford and I pull up outside Belinda's discreet little shop. A hand-painted sign reading hardware is the only indication of the off-book treasures within. Inside, the smell of gun oil and scorched metal hangs thick in the air. Belinda looks up from cleaning a heavy rifle, one eyebrow raised in surprise.
Back so soon? What are you gearing up for this time? The Fourth World War?
A surgical strike. There's a fortified compound we need to infiltrate, strictly off the records.
Whoa now, let's just say we have some pest control needs. Nothing drastic.
I shoot Wolford a look. No use downplaying this to Belinda. She starts setting items on the counter.
Fortified compound, you say? Then you'll want the premium packages. These explosive kamikaze drones are perfect for causing distractions. The incendiary gel packs I just got in can melt through steel. For mobility, these temporary leg augments will let you breach walls and get vertical in a hurry. The reflex and perception boosters will slow things down, give you an edge in close combat. If you want some flash, these targeted electromagnetic pulse charges will fry any electronics. And the photorefractive cloaking skin I just got on the black market will render you virtually invisible for short bursts. Prototypes from DARPA labs.
This tech have AMTC approval that I don't know about. We can't be rolling in with experimental military hardware.
Oh, it's approved all right. In certain shadowy sectors. Don't worry, adjustments are temporary. They'll fade off within 24 hours. Untraceable.
I load up on the powerful contraband gear. If Chimera is half as dangerous as rumored, we're going to need every advantage. We set off into the night, locked and loaded, ready to deliver hell to their front door. We make our way silently through a crumbling perimeter wall into a shadowy courtyard with Wolford on point. So far, no signs of external security. Too quiet for my liking. According to the bioscans, the entrance to Chimera's underground lab should be somewhere inside the old tuberculosis sanitarium. All the Gothic architecture and gargoyles leering down at us give me the creeps. If only these walls could speak. How many lost souls have suffered and died here over the decades? We pick the locks on a derelict side door choked with vines and creep through neglected hospital wards, the cloying stench of decay assaulting our senses. Makes you wonder how vile the smells were when this place was still operational. At last we find a door marked Maintenance, leading to a flight of concrete steps curving down into the abyss. The stale air grows colder the deeper we go. At the bottom lies a heavy steel door with a now dark retinal scanner. Looks like Chimera tried, but failed to conceal this entrance. My explosive packs make quick work of the door's locking mechanism. Beyond lies a stark white corridor, stretching into the distance, the whole passage thrumming with unseen energy. Banks of harsh lights embedded in the ceiling click on automatically, sensing our presence. No cover or side routes, just a straight killing field. Every instinct is screaming trap, but we have no choice but to forge ahead. We advance slowly, weapons drawn, waiting for the inevitable ambush. But there's only the hum of fluorescent bulbs and our own tense breaths. The next chamber is something torn from a nightmare. What in the hell happened here? Blackened stains cover medical slabs with restraints and surgical implements. Rusted observation decks loom overhead, and row after row of glowing cylindrical tanks house grotesque forms, augmented body parts floating in preservation gel, an entire room of mechanical monstrosities.
What kind of sick experiments were they doing here? Oh, please tell me Pike wasn't subjected to any of this.
I don't know, but we're about to find out. Let's tear this place apart. Any shred of evidence that leads us back to whoever sanctioned this. We begin sifting through the grisly laboratory, scanning data terminals and prying open storage lockers. Most of the records seem intentionally wiped, but I find traces, supply manifests, procedural sketches, neurological test results. Wolford analyzes a vial of viscous fluid.
This is bad, whatever this substance is. Some kind of highly concentrated neural disruptor drug. Suppressed memories, induced hallucinations, violent impulses. This stuff scares me.
They were developing biological weapons here, no question. But we need data on who was running these experiments. Here, help me with this terminal. Just then, a burst of static crackles over hidden speakers.
Did you really think we would leave our secrets unguarded? You've seen too much already. This underground sanctuary will be your tomb.
Grates snap open along the walls and ceiling, releasing a torrent of mechanical spiders skittering towards us. I ignite my incendiary gel to torch the first wave, but more just keep coming. Their titanium fangs shred chunks from my dermal plating as I fire wildly, hydraulic fluid spraying across the tiles. Wolford tosses the neural disruptor vial into an air duct, then primes a pulse charge, frying the circuits of 24 crawling bots. The shockwave overloads my left ocular implant, but I keep fighting through searing pain and blurry vision. But then the observation window shatters as a hulking biomech beast with glowing optics and piston-driven limbs drops into the laboratory, blocking our exit route.
Intruders will be neutralized.
The mechanoid charges us like a rampaging bull, but I detonate a magnetic grenade in its path, scrambling its systems momentarily. As the beast reboots, Wolford hacks at its sensor array, while I jam my rifle barrel into the joint of its leg piston and fires. Hydraulic fluid sprays as the limb blows off, but the beast only seems enraged. It backhands me into a computer bank, my head slamming against the metal frame. Red warning icons flash across my vision, but I shake it off and loop a chain around the roaring bot's neck from behind, trying to choke it down. Wolford grabs a surgical bone saw and drives it into the mechanoid's torso repeatedly until something vital short-circuits. The beast staggers, and I yank the chain with all my augmented strength, tearing off its head in a shower of sparks and shrapnel. Before we can catch our breath, the heavy doors unseal once more, and a squad of Chimera security forces storms in, leveling rifles and shotguns in our direction.
You've sabotaged your last corrupt corner of the city, scum. End of the line.
They open fire, but we dive behind the mutilated mechanoid corpse for cover. I prime an explosive spider drone. Wolford, on my signal, give them hell. Now. I throw the spider bomb into the clustered guards. Bullets ricochet all around us as we lean out, blasting away with rifles and incendiary grenades. The spider detonates right in their midst, consuming 3 guards in the roiling explosion. I activate the photorefractive camouflage skins we got from Belinda, and we split up, vanishing from sight to flank the staggered security team. They shoot blindly at phantom targets. While cloaked, I creep behind one guard and slit his throat with a monomolecular blade before he can scream. I re-engage the camouflage just as the others turn toward the noise. Wolford takes down 2 more guards with headshots from across the room. The final guard drops to his knees, begging for life as we decloak behind him, dripping blood and coolant. I put the barrel of my gun to his temple, but he talks fast.
Wait! I can give you access to the mainframe. Download the data trails that you're after. Just please don't kill me. Please.
I hesitate for a moment, gun aimed at his head. Could we bring him in alive, have him testify against Chimera in court? No, I realize grimly. There's only one way to ensure these monsters face justice for their crimes. Nothing personal, but the society you serve doesn't get to make those choices anymore.
No, please, I'll tell you anything.
I fire a single shot before he can finish begging. The Chimera Clinic's fate would be decided by our bullets, not the broken legal system that enabled them. All who took part in these horrors need to be purged. It's the only way justice can be served now. Bloody and leaking fluid from a dozen wounds, we secure the area, then get to work, hacking the main terminal using the biometric data from the dead guards. Most of the data is wiped, but fragments remain pointing to something called the Lazarus Halcyon Initiative.
Halcyon? What the fuck?
A shadowy group overseeing the twisted experiments here. I'm copying the sparse intel onto a drive when alarms blare throughout the complex. Reinforcements are coming. We have to leave now. Hacking Chimera's mainframe tipped off whatever security remains. More forces will already be converging on our position. He slips on the bionic leg braces as I inject specialized serum into my remaining organic muscle. The compound floods with strobing emergency lights as boots pound up the corridor toward us. No more time for stealth. We go guns blazing. The exo-frames let us burst straight through the steel walls of the lab, instead of retreating through the kill zone corridor. We hurtle into the darkness beyond, pulverizing concrete and rebar in our augmented wake. My audio implants detect troops pursuing close behind. Up ahead looms some kind of cyborg manufacturing plant with assembly rigs suspended over vats of synthetic flesh. Nowhere left to run but through. Wolford and I smash through the walls of the cyborg manufacturing plant, shards of concrete flying as our augmented limbs plow through anything in our path. The facility is dimly lit by the bubbling vats below, filled with synthetic flesh and cybernetic components. Half-assembled cyborgs hang lifeless and incomplete from the assembly rigs above. This is where Chimera designs its monstrosities away from prying eyes. Endless horrors crafted in this place if we don't shut it down for good. The clatter of boots behind us confirms a squad is still in pursuit. They burst into the plant firing wildly, bullets ricocheting off the vat containers. I return fire with my rail rifle while sprinting, dropping 2 troopers immediately. We can't afford to get pinned down in this maze. Wolford tosses a targeted EMP grenade back at the doorway to fry their optics and weapon systems. Their panicked screams are cut short as the pulse explodes, leaving the entrance a sparking ruin. That should slow them down. We weave between bubbling vats and unfinished cyborg corpses. Beyond lies a massive industrial furnace, where the aborted cyborg experiments are disposed, the air rippling with heat. We sprint down the catwalks, trying not to choke on the billowing ash and smoke all around. Suddenly, the ceiling behind us explodes as more Chimera security troops rappel down on cables, weapons blazing. They mean to trap us in this inferno one way or another. Wolford returns fire while I prime my last explosive charges to collapse part of the catwalk and block our pursuit. The demolition blast rings out, dropping a heap of twisted metal across the path. We reach the far end of the furnace complex, just as the entire facility begins to quake and groan ominously. My explosives must have destabilized the core structural pillars. This whole place is coming down. We burst through one final locked door into the night air and sprint for cover as tons of concrete collapse downward behind us, the roaring furnace consumed by the destruction. Chimera's butchers and horrors will haunt this place no more. The data drive feels cold now in my grip, the key to unraveling what was really going on here. Whatever corrupted souls were behind this Lazarus initiative, they won't stay buried forever. But for now, we did what had to be done. There will be justice soon enough for my brother Pike and all of Chimera's victims. This night dealt a crushing blow to our enemies, but the fight isn't over. Not by a long shot. For now, we rest and bind our wounds. The horrors we witnessed tonight will fuel our vengeance moving forward.
That place needed to burn. But we got what we came for, Lumpkin. This is just the start. I'm in need of some good fortune.